Stephen, how lovely to have you with me today. Thank you so much indeed. You and I
Great to see you.
got introduced by a mutual friend about I think it was about 10 years ago. It was about a decade ago, and I've followed you
It
online,
seems like a very long time ago. Yeah.
and you've followed my journey online, and then recently we reconnected because of this incredible product. And I've tried multiple things over the years, and there's only two or three products that I keep continually using because you try something, it's got a load of hype, and then you think, oh, I'm not so sure about this. But this really pepped my interest, A, because of inflammation, B, because of the fact that it's easy to take, and C, everybody's talking about peptides right now. And in fact,
Yeah.
I was at my Bali Brotherhood meeting this morning, and they're all talking about BP157 and injecting and GLPs and all these, and they're all going, "Yeah, it's absolutely safe. It's absolutely safe." And I'm sitting there thinking, we don't really know that because this is all so new. It's like many things over the years have been proclaimed as safe, and then suddenly they're not.
Yeah.
And then obviously with the weight loss, there's so many people that want to do something about it and don't know what to do and have tried so many things over the years, and it fails and it fails and it fails, or they do well for a short period of time and then fall off the wagon and all the weight piles back on again. Whereas from what I've seen in the testimonial group from this is really having amazing effects for people. So before we start, Stephen, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how
Sure.
you came across this product.
Absolutely love to. So, you know, long story short is I've been helping people with their health for about 32 years. Um, Really initially inspired 40 years ago because my mom beat terminal cancer holistically. The doctor said you'll be dead in 6 months if you don't do exactly what I tell you to do.
Mhm.
And she didn't do anything her doctor told her to. And she's 92 now and stunningly healthy woman. So I was like, okay, it kind of ingrained in me that doing things outside the box is the way to go, right? So I never worry if I'm doing things differently than the standard people do because I don't want standard results, right? So you have to do things differently. And I'm also a certified emotion code and body code practitioner, which is kind of quantum work for people. I work a lot with a map of consciousness, different things like that. So um, but doing a lot with health things. And the way this came across for me, it was a combination of a couple things. One, I had a business that was wound down, right? And if you learn how to manage disappointment properly, um, when one door closes, you can come into something even better pretty quickly, right? And so sometimes you're in a business and you lost the passion for it, and you can't pour your life's passion into a compromise. But it had been a long time since I was like, yes, this is, and I was like, I want supplement, I want something simple. I want something to really help people, pretty new, viral. Uh, I wanted to help some things for me, right? And honestly, I want to make a lot of money because money, you can do wonderful things with money, right? And for me personally, I've sold many wonderful products over the years in network marketing. Um, but not because any one of them ever produced a stunning result for me personally, right? Because I'm decently healthy, right? I'm like,
Mhm.
I know how to help people and like I see miracles, but I'm like, me, I'm like, it's good. But I'm 57. When I was 19, I was like, had effortless six pack abs. I looked at myself, I'm like, I guess this is my future. I'll always have six pack abs. I don't know if that's that about you, but I'm like, in my 50s, I'm like, wow, hold on a second here, you know. But I will tell you what, so I'll be 57. When I was 50, I made a goal to get fit, and I was disciplined and I did some things. And I'm proud to say my 50-year-old self could kick my 19-year-old's ass any day of the week. It was
Mhm.
awesome. But then you travel and you move and you have stress and things change, and I'm ready to get in shape again, but it is not working this time. Does that make sense? Very frustrated. I did a lot of things, whether it's fasting or working out or this or that. I um had major issues staying on diet, right? Um it just seemed like the inputs that previously produced results it was not producing results anymore. Does that make sense?
Mm.
And, you know, and on top of that, I just felt like an addict to junk food, right? I don't know if I'm the only one here, right? It was like I joke, if my wife, like, I do not keep any junk food in my house. We eat very clean. But my wife asked me to, honey, can you run an errand for me? Instantly, absolutely, I will run an errand for you. Why would I be so eager? I'm gonna go grocery, and instantly my brain goes, I'm gonna go to the grocery store. I'm gonna get a donut, maybe 2 donuts. Like, you know, and the only thing I could do was if I fasted 48 hours, it would kill sugar cravings, and that'd be good, right? But God forbid I get off that, and then there's a does that make sense?
Yeah,
And
totally.
I'm like, is this gonna be the rest of my life? Like where you have such a if you want to be healthy, right? You have such a poor relationship with food. It was just frustrating. And I hired a very expensive trainer who's amazing and gets stunning results. And one thing he did, he goes, "Hey man, tell you what, um, free your first bottle of retatrutide is free." So what is retatrutide? Retatrutide is an injectable peptide, and it's retatrutide is the one that all the gym bros use, right? Um, Nobody who knows anything about peptides, who has access to any decent product, would ever use a GLP-1 because retatrutide works on 3 different pathways instead of one. Helps with cravings, it keeps muscle, it reduces gut inflammation, and it works on insulin. It's like magic, and magic for a lot of people. So you're talking about the guys who want to maintain muscle and don't want to look like the like Hollywood skeletons, right? Um, they do retatrutide and it works amazing, but not for me, right? No one ever told me that there were any potential side effects, but for me, it caused constipation. First of all, it killed food craving so much that you just don't care at all, which is kind of weird to feel like a bit of a zombie. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
you know, it can rob you. So, but constipation, like I started taking it right before I went on a week-long Caribbean cruise that I had won and like ruined my vacation. Just crazy. But I'm not a quitter. May not be super smart, but I'm not a quitter. So I'm like, okay, maybe I gotta have more fiber, more salt, more. I'm gonna do it again. We're like, no, like this. Recently, I went to go try it again, and my wife is like, if you will not be doing that again. I'm like, but I was. Here's the thing. Why would I do that? It's the same reason why people who don't know any better, they're doing the GLP-1 injections, even though they know all the potential side effects out there
Mm.
because they're desperate and they're going to inject themselves with something that's potentially expensive, potentially serious side effects, but they're like, I gotta, like, nothing is working,
Yeah.
right?
I love how we've
And
normalized I love how we've normalized the word side effects like it's a side show. They're effects.
massive, 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 and potentially life altering, like increase your, we can go on and on and on, right? And so, um, I'm very good at manifesting things, and someone told me about this product, a friend of mine, and that friend, another friend I know, I really respect this guy. He's a Stanford trained medical doctor who I know is Mr. Buff Doctor, right? He's a super fit guy, and he's like, this is an awesome product. And one thing I will say is the best solutions in your life are typically, um, you know, spiritually perceived before they're intellectually analyzed. That makes sense. Like if you keep your life free of unforgiveness, offense, all these things, your radar works better. Okay. And so when a solution walks past, you can see it and you can grab a hold of it. Anyways, when I saw this, it was like ding 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 ding. I looked into I'm like, I think this is like awesome. And we can go into the results I've had, but maybe what I'll explain first, let's I want to do like a very brief peptides for dummies. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Because
I was going to ask because a lot of people have heard about of Ozempic. It's in the media. It's everybody's, oh, this is amazing fat loss, everything else. But a lot of people don't really understand what GLP-1s are and what's actually going on inside the body. So I think this would be a great place to start.
Yeah, well, we're gonna simplify it even more because people throw the word peptide out as if everyone knows what it is, and no one asks because they're like, I'm supposed to know what a peptide is, right? So let's start with that. So peptide is just a message. That's it. It's a message. So, like, here's my brain, here's my stomach. Stomach is full now. There should be a message to the brain. Hey, you're full. You don't need to eat anymore, right? But here's what people have to understand. Why is that message messed up? I joke with people, but it's actually serious. If if I'm a big food executive, right, who has a financial responsibility to the shareholders to make a profit, my job is actually to take a 200-pound woman and turn her into a 220-pound woman. Like, what are you talking about? Well, here's the reality of business is that way way more profitable for me somehow to convince Teo to order 2 or 3 bags of potato chips instead of just one, instead of getting 2 or 3 extra customers.
Mm,
See, well, how do we do that? Well, we use chemistry to short circuit this message so you never get the message that you're full. See what I mean?
yeah.
So you have things like that. You have environmental toxins, everything. They're messing with all these signals. Like, here's another big signal from the brain to the gut. Heal, reduce inflammation, reduce gut membrane permeability. Right? What happens when that's not going through? Well, you have people who, man, I'm sure a lot of people who watch this, you eat super clean diet, and if you mess up a tiny amount, you look like you're 6 months pregnant,
Mm,
right? All of a sudden, right? Because the signal is not getting through, right? And so, a GLP-1 is just an extremely strong signal saying we're full, but it's constant. Does that make sense? We're full. We're full. We're full. So people who are taking these GLP-1, they're not eating, right? And they're definitely not consuming enough protein. So they're wasting away. So a GLP-1, the big problem with it is this is people look at the scale numbers. That makes sense. They want to see
mm,
that number change. Fat is light and fluffy, muscle is dense and heavy. What's the fastest way to see a quick change on the scale? Burn fat, sure, but also strip your body of muscle.
mm,
And good luck trying to get that back, right? And you're not talking about just this muscle, you're talking about like lean body tissue throughout your whole body. It's
yeah.
like, oh, you wake up, you're like, oh, you've got a heart issue. But I'm like 30. It's like, yeah, you do now. You wasted your body away. So retatrutide, which is, here's what people don't understand. Um, it's a drug. Lilly is almost done getting this drug through market. And when that drug comes out, it will be $1 trillion drug because it works so much better than Ozempic or any of these other things. It
Mm,
maintains muscle, reduces cravings, helps with gut, and helps with metabolism and insulin, right? But like my experience is not without side effects. You're talking about it gonna be $1,000 to $1,400 injections. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on with this,
oh, that's a
and
thousand. Sorry, Stephen, $1,000 to $1,400 per month.
that's an estimate,
Right.
right?
But we do know
A
we
lot
don't
of
know.
people are paying $400-500 a month easy for all the GLP-1s, right? So, but the results, people will pay that because of the potential results.
Mm,
Absolutely, right? So, what are we talking about here, right? So, again, peptides are just a messaging molecule, right? So, this product is absolutely fascinating. So, you're talking about $300 million worth of research behind the technology in this. Um, you're talking about an extract from North Atlantic salmon from Norway. They grow these salmon in freshwater fjords, farm raise them. And most people have a misconception. Oh, farm raised, that's bad. No, like a lot of wild salmon has full of parasites and toxins and everything else. In this farm raised environment, they can be um, incredibly strict about how clean it is. Okay. So they have an enzymatic process that takes actually from the bones and the skull of the salmon, produces a powder, and that powder has 267 different peptides in it. Okay. Then we combine it with our own patented process that takes the powder, turns it into a liquid with that without any carrier oils, 90% absorbable in your mouth, right? So instantly right in your body. So the benefits, the benefits are very wide ranging. Mostly, of course, what we talk about is the sexy stuff, right? like, oh, for fat loss, people are like, yes, right. But it does a lot more than that. So I'll tell you, here's an interesting story from today, right? Remember my story about what an addict I am was for if there's cookies in the house, I will eat all of them. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Like pint of Ben and Jerry's, I would always eat the entire thing, right? I don't know how I'm not like 100 pounds overweight. Well, the truth is that I just don't keep that stuff in the house because I'm not an idiot. Does that make sense? So today we're hanging out with my wife. We go out. We go get some wings at this place, and at the place there's also ice cream. I'm like, let's go get some ice cream. It is really, really good ice cream. And I just got a little cup, and I ate half of it, and I had no need to finish it. It was amazing. I loved it. I'm like, I'll take it home. I was in my van life van, so I just took the little cup, put it in the fridge of my van life van, brought it home, gave it to my daughter. Bizarre.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And
Now,
how
so
long,
for me,
question, how many weeks have you been using the product for?
so today is actually 2 weeks. So for
Wow.
me, so clinically, what you would see is this. In general, the first 2 weeks are adjustment period. Weeks 3 to 8 is when you really start getting the results. Okay. But for me, and again, so that we like to under promise and over deliver. But often what people say is they go, "Oh, the food noise gone." That happened to me very quickly. I lost about over 5 pounds the first 6 days. But I was on a Zoom the other day, and they've been on maybe a little over a week, maybe 10 days, and people come and they're like, "Your face looks different, leaner, healthier," because one of the biggest sources of inflammation for people is, gut health,
Mm.
right? My son-in-law, he's in his 20s. He was vaccine injured when he was young. Um, and he has some gut permeability issues from that as well. Or he's also MTHFR gene mutation, all that type of stuff. So he's very he's he's very lucky that he married into our family because I've got like far infrared sauna, I've got a cold plunge, we've got all this stuff. Does that make sense? It's like
Mm.
his health has improved a lot living with this. But one thing he says, he goes, "Oh yeah," he goes, "My inflammation way down." Because his gut will come, he'll do the pregnant thing very, very quickly if he eats the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So that's been my experience so far. And I'm very much looking forward to dropping a whole bunch of weight. But I will tell you this, um, if it didn't do anything else for me, like if I never lost 1 single pound, I would be incredibly grateful for what's already done.
Mm.
Right. But I will say, less food cravings, better mental health because you got brain connection, more energy. What we're going to see is this is going to be especially helpful for women because one of the reasons it gives you energy is it improves how your body handles ferritin, right? Iron, right? Both too high and too low, how it recycles it and everything. So a lot of women out there, certain time of the month, boom, energy tanking, bloated, all sorts of stuff. I will say there's already pretty significant evidence in my household that I'm not allowed to totally discuss, but that this is working.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I
We're
saw, in fact,
cautiously very optimistic. We'll just say that.
I saw
So,
in the testimonial group that you added me to, I saw there were several women in there of that, perimenopausal and menopausal age just waxing lyrical about this product. Obviously, we can't
Yeah.
make any claims. That's why we say go into the Facebook look group and have a look. But yeah, there's you can see that it's and the before and after pictures in there are just. I love that. I love the
Yeah,
fact that
some of and a lot of them just in people's faces. Just boom. Your health, just lack of inflammation in the face is
That's
just
that's
awesome.
that's usually where if I see somebody and then I haven't seen them for a little while and I see them, I go, wow, what did you do? And they go, because people don't see themselves losing weight unless they document it or they take photographs or they, hey, look, that was you three
Absolutely.
months ago and this is you now. And yeah, but with the cravings thing, I'm exactly the same. I mean, with my neurodivergence, which I only had diagnosed at 47 years old, I'm now 51. I really understand that we can work 18, 19 hours a day for 4 weeks at a time, and it doesn't matter. It's just like we've got this Duracell bunny energy, but the cravings that come with that, and I find myself here. I'm editing this documentary series right now. I'm like, I need a bar of chocolate, and it's the same thing. I won't eat one bit of chocolate. I won't stop until that entire bar is gone. And
Yeah.
it's not even sometimes it's not even a conscious decision. It's just like fuel, fuel, fuel. It's the wrong fuel. Absolutely. I know that. And I do eat healthily but I completely can empathize with that. Go to the cinema and get a big thing of popcorn. That thing's gone. It's like there's none left.
Oh my god, like that happened to me. Like so I started on Friday, and I think on a Monday or Tuesday, my wife and I went to to the movies. Now, typically if I'm on a diet, I would have to be like 100% or nothing, right?
Yeah.
So it's like then you stress out like, oh my god, I'm gonna be tempted. The movies, popcorn, candy. It's stressful, If you're trying to change something, right?
Mm.
Well, I actually went to the movies, I got a beer and popcorn. Finished half of each one.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. See that just never would happen.
No. Well, even listen to the language you used. I said, I need like what do you mean you need it?
Yeah.
Like that's a lie. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the wrong message, right?
Yeah.
So
Stephen, I'm aware that I want to try and keep this, not such a long video because people's attention span is getting shorter and shorter. So tell me a little bit about the research behind the product, and then I want you to answer the question which we all get of it sounds too good to be true. How do we know it works?
absolutely. So you know, very upfront, I'm not the science nerd dude. Okay. Um, you can it's a biotech company in Norway. They have about $300 million worth of research behind it. And one thing I did look at was the clinical research on the product, where they measure, like, in a clinical setting, very specific biomarkers, blood sugar and, percent body fat and lean body tissue and insulin and inflammation. So all these biomarkers and all very, very impressive results, right? Especially the one you want to look for is um, weight loss without muscle loss. That's the one. And so when you look at the clinicals of this product, the clinicals are very similar to retatrutide
Hmm.
in terms of how much actual percentage weight people are losing, all that type of stuff. And in terms of like, is it too good to be true? It's like, I don't know. It would be here. Let's be honest. It would be weird if it worked for 100% of the people. Like, I'm not guaranteeing it works for you. I didn't know if it would work for me. Do you know how many things I have in my vitamin cabinet? I'm like, oh, I'll try anything, thing after thing after thing after thing. This worked for me, right?
Hmm.
And so that's I I am uh here. I'll say it this way: the reason you need a double-blind placebo crossover study is for one of two reasons. Okay, either the product is not actually very effective, and you need placebos to compare. Does that
Hmm.
make sense? Or the product works but it's toxic, and you need to compare liver toxicity.
Right.
Right? I have zero interest in selling a product that is so ineffective that I need a fancy study.
Yeah.
There's not no, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things to understand with this way we sell it is you're asking people who, based on their own experience, to go tell the people they care the most about, right? So if that's your the way you're growing it, it it stops fast if it doesn't work,
Yeah,
like
sure.
massively. I've seen several companies um, doing great business, great products. They change the formulation just a little bit. Boom! There goes the entire business
Mm. I
because it
think
kills the business if it doesn't work. Right.
I think
So,
there's a stigma attached to network marketing because people go, it's a pyramid scheme and blah, blah, blah. It's not at all. It's just the fact that that company's choosing, instead of spending fortunes on advertising budget, which is a probably difficult product to advertise anyway because of all the restrictions, they would rather
yeah,
give a percentage to the customer market. And there's nothing wrong with that, which is great. I want to know, what does an actual day look like? What is it like taking it day to day? I mean, it's drop.
absolutely.
How do you take it? Is it easy? Does it take a long time? Do you have to do it multiple times a day? How does it work?
Um, Great question. I want to finish answering the other question with a little bit insight for people. Okay. Um, if you look at a network marketing company who's selling a product and they spend a lot of time talking more about the money people are making than the product, be wary that the product might not be that good at all.
Right.
Right. That's just very simple. It's like if you're very clearly leading with the product and the power of the product, then you're much more likely to have a very, very effective product. And so that's a very simple way to look at it. If we're leading with the business, the reason your people are joining and staying is because of money, not because of product results.
Mm.
Right. So very, very simple product. Um, I If you want to shift body fat, you'll want to do it twice a day, probably 4 to 5 drops a day under your tongue. I like to keep it away from meals before meals because it will reduce hunger a little bit. So I keep it in the bathroom. Um, Very easy. It's just I stack the habit on other things I'm doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. I look in the mirror, 4 drops under my tongue, let it sit there a bit. That's it. Right. I One thing I find is that for some reason taking drops for whatever reason is easier on compliance than opening up a pill bottle and swallowing pills. And I don't know why that is, but that's typically what I find. So someone taking this, they're like, okay, I want to see a shift. Great. You're likely going to use about 3 bottles a month approximately while you're getting that shift. And then when you get to where you want, then you can reduce it probably to 1 bottle a month. So 1 bottle, there's a little bit of variance. And if you buy 3 at a time, or there's a tiny bit of discount from customer pricing to distributor pricing, but you're looking at about $55 per bottle, about $130. This is US for 3 bottles at a time.
Okay.
So
So in pounds, because a lot of my audience is there, it's about 1.3 at the moment. So it's about £100 a month for 3 bottles. And that's what you would take if you were trying to fix something a bit quicker. But the maintenance is only 1 bottle a month. Is that right?
correct, yeah.
Wow. So that's like what that works out at about £1 a day or $1.30 a day once you've gone through that maintenance period. No, sorry, once you've
It's
gone through the
extremely reasonable, yeah.
yeah. I mean, that
Yep.
really is reasonable. And it ships from the US, doesn't it? And I think I looked at the shipping yesterday. And I think it's about $15 to ship it
We
from the
have
US to the UK.
depends it depends on where you're ordering it from. Um, if they don't all I think I'll have to double check, but
It doesn't matter.
here's
It's not a
one of
huge amount. And it's also one of those things that if you think you're going to take it, then it's better to order more bottles because then you're not having to pay postage if you live in a different country. But I also have a lot of friends in the US and a lot of people in the US that will be watching this. So it just depends where you are
yeah,
in the world. But they do ship globally because I checked that yesterday. I mean, not into every country, but to enough countries. For example, I'm in Indonesia right now. They don't ship here, but that's because of the customs issue. So I'm going to get mine shipped to my friend in Australia who's always coming backwards and forwards because he does 3 weeks working there, 3 weeks living here. So there's no trouble getting that
perfect.
in. Um,
So here's let me go a little bit more explanation on that. Um, this is actually um, a really unique setup, right? Because if I want something very viral and I want to make good money on something, you want something brand new. You want to be in ground floor, and you want something very simple that people just like one product. Does that make sense? We just this product. Don't
Mm.
confuse people. Just go right, and
Okay.
that's what typically goes very viral. But if you are dealing with a brand new company, a startup, then you're dealing with like, are they even going to make it? You're going to hire all these customer service people. What about shipping? What about this? What about that? It's like it's a years long process of maturing to actually handle something. And if it's going viral, you hope to God that they can handle the growth, which they often don't. So this actually is Origin, and this product is a brand extension of an established network marketing company, right? So customer facing is something brand new, something very simple. Back end, it's like you have a company, large company, debt-free company. We own like the manufacturing, the shipping. We have offices all over the world. So what we do is we have the back end already ready for explosive growth, ready to open up new markets and have you actually shipping from that market instead of from the US. Um, so it's a beautiful combination of um, something brand new and something established backing it up. So
Okay. Great thing. And is there anyone that shouldn't take this? We haven't talked about is it a pharma product? Or is it
actually
purely
not
food supplement?
just very, I mean, you're talking to somebody who, I know back to my kids, my three granddaughters also, it's like we're pretty serious about that. We have raw milk in the fridge, all that,
Mm,
right? No, this is I don't know anyone who couldn't take it. Okay. In fact, they have the level of this product and how it's made is way beyond organics because of the degree which they control the raw material and sourcing, right? On top of that, they have extensive certifications. One of the certifications they have is GRAS, which is again, it's a U.S. term means generally regarded as safe.
right.
Means like they're like, as far as we know, there ain't nobody have any problems with this ever. The only thing that you would run into is this, and this is just common sense. Like if I am on medications because I have a health issue, if I get healthier, it's likely I should probably take less medication,
Mm,
right? Blood pressure medication, insulin, something like that. So if you're in a situation where you're taking a medication to control a certain thing and potentially this might help alleviate some of that, you would probably want to work with your doctor to keep an eye on that, right?
yeah.
So
Perfect.
when and in general, if we're talking about fixing all these different pathways, um, some of the people watching this, you're like, if I said, "Are you sensitive?" stuff, you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm sensitive." Okay, well, the common sense would say start slower, right? You could if you turn on signaling in your body, likely, you could start detoxing, different things like that. Right. Now this is not something that I hear a lot of. I mean, there's certain supplements out there that are super powerful that everyone's like, "Oh my god, I have to start like licking it instead of actually swallowing it." You know, this is not my experience with this product so far.
Okay. And what are you hearing from people that have been on it for a little while? I mean, obviously, I've had a look in that testimonial group, but have you got any personal stories from people that have things that have made you go, wow, like,
My wife, my son-in-law. Here's an interesting story. I have a young new mom um taking the product, and I saw her. She's a customer of mine, and I saw her video, and she's Hawaiian. And one thing she said, she goes, "Yeah, I've lost 5 pounds the first week." She goes, "But here's the interesting thing." She goes, I'm dealing. If I want to be healthy, I'm battling against culture." What do I mean? The culture is we get together and we eat,
mm,
right? There's tremendous pressure to fit into that culture, right? She goes, I'm having tremendously more self-control and discipline and different relationship with the food, right? But if you look at the testimonial group, you'll see people showing off there. blood pressure numbers, their blood glucose numbers, right? Tons. I mean, if you want to see results, go in our testimonial group. We're collecting testimonials all the time. Real changes in how people look. And one of the very common things is people just saying, "I feel good. I feel like I have hope again."
Yeah, I read a
You know what
couple
I
of
mean?
that like that. And when you read messages
It's
like
like,
you go,
"Oh, my life just seemed out of control." Even people dealing with some pretty serious I call it compliance wise, just wacky health issues.
mm,
You people know who you are. So right, it's like you got multiple stuff going on with doctors going, "Well, I don't know what your deal is," right? And so, people having energy, it's like in general, what is everybody looking for? They're like, look, I want to sleep well. I want to have better mental clarity. I want to have more energy and I want less inflammation in my body. And I'll tell you one thing, I spent over 4 years selling millions of dollars worth of product that was specifically geared for inflammation and very, very good at it.
it is a
Right.
very good product. Yeah.
A curcumin product. I've had customers who had been taking that product who are now taking this product saying, this product is working better for my inflammation than that product.
Oh, wow.
Because a lot of people's inflammation is in the gut because they're not digesting their food properly. They're having gut membrane permeability issues, and all the inflammation is going from their gut throughout their whole body.
Okay. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fantastic. Well, again, I don't want to make any claims because this is becoming more and more litigious. So yeah, just we'll put well, people can message and we'll give them the link depending how they're seeing this. But if it's going out, it's coming in by email. The link to the Facebook group will be in there, and you can have a look at it. If you're watching this on a Facebook page, then send me a private message, and I'll send you the link to the group. And someone watching this who wants to find out more or try it, what's the next step? Obviously, there's a link, but when you go on to the site, there's two options in there's customer and distributor. Can you just explain what the difference is between the two?
Yeah, I mean, if you can choose either one, you'll see there's not a very big price difference. If you choose to be a distributor, we don't there's not an obligation or anything. Does that make sense? Not an obligation from the company. And as your, business partners, right? We don't put expectation or obligation on you either. That makes sense. So, but now you have options. One of the things to think about as you enroll as a distributor is this. Um, there is a very interesting bonus, which is if you enroll within 48 hours of enrollment, if you find two business partners who also place an order, it qualifies you for life for a certain bonus, which can be very nice, right?
Right.
So maybe keep that in mind. That makes sense. You're like, oh, I think I'm gonna try the product, and if I like it, maybe I'll tell people. Like, maybe be a customer first, because if you just sign up as a distributor and you waste your 48 hours, you might be like, "Dang it,
Okay,
I
so that's
can't go
good
back."
advice. So someone can sign up as a customer. Obviously, they're going to pay like $10 more for the product, but then or for an individual bottle of it. And then if they will decide, hey, this really works for me, and they want to start telling, because there's a lot of people right now that are struggling, even with their monthly mortgage payment or with their, the car payment, and the cost of everything's going up. And again, going back to this network marketing model, people buy from people they trust. And hence why I'm doing it. Cash flow for me super tight right now. I'm trying to fund this documentary series. I'm trying to get that out there. I want to make a massive difference in the world and help men to reduce the men taking their own lives. And so all bits that come in are extra. And I said, when my business partner in my training business said, hey, listen, what about this? He said, why don't you talk about it? I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to be proud and sit there. I'm going to go, yeah, this is great. This sounds amazing. I can't wait to get it over here. I've just got to wait for it to come from Australia. But again, having looked in the group, which is what I did first, did my due diligence, did some research, read about it, looked in your Facebook group, looked at all the different testimonials in there. You can see they're legit. They haven't been created by ChatGPT or Claude. They're real people. And you're like, okay, these people are having this result. And, why wouldn't you share something that's going to help people and make them better? And I have family members that I know will hugely benefit from this product that I have now ordered for, because I know that I can see the discomfort that they're in with inflammation and with mental fog and all these different things. And I believe hugely that it's gut brain. I've marketed a documentary series for a friend of mine called the Gut Brain Solution multiple times. So I'm aware of this, and it's so unusual to find products that are out there that are a little less snake oil and that actually do what they say they're going to do. And again, the thing with taking vitamins on a daily basis, it is a bit of a chore. The thing I loved about that other product we were talking about with the drops is the fact it's so easy. You just boom, 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 you're done. And as you said,
Exactly.
link it to a habit, like do it before you brush your teeth or do it before you get in the shower. What did you say? Hold it in your mouth for like 60, 90 seconds and then swallow it?
Yeah, 60 seconds because it will absorb 90% in your mouth. I'll tell you, here's two interesting things. You asked me for some testimonies. I'm going to give you an interesting one. So my business partner is a Stanford trained medical doctor. He's in Honduras. He runs stem cell clinic. He's not only a medical doctor, very sharp guy, but also a very fit guy. Right? You're talking about a guy who's like in the gym 6 days a week, and he's his whole career as a doctor. He realized the impact of people's metabolic health on their health overall. Well, both his wife and daughter had serious insulin issues. His wife, nothing was working, and she was actually uh, both wife and daughter were on metformin. It wasn't working. His wife actually got on a GLP-1. Definitely didn't work for her. When he saw this, he was like, he looked at the research. He goes, "This looks awesome." Incredible results for his wife. The results for his daughter. He goes, "Look," he goes, "My daughter, she would go 6 months without her period. Then it would come back like a freight train. Huge food cravings, tons of inflammation,
Mm.
right?" He goes, 10 days after using this, my daughter called me up and she goes, "This has totally changed my life. My hormones are balanced. My food cravings are gone. My inflammation is gone." Right? He jokes, he goes, "Look," he goes, "I got my mother-in-law on the product. We go to big family dinner. My mother-in-law is 80, right? But at family dinner, everyone looks at grandma and they're like, what? I mean, he hadn't even been on the products that long. So you're talking about maybe 2 weeks. Grandma's been not very long at all, right? Everyone looks at grandma and they're like, what are you doing? Why? Not because she looked healthy, right? She briefly said they're like, yes, everyone's like, they want it, right? So a couple things to understand about this is that number one, um, I consider it simply good manners to give people the information. You can make, I'm not going to rob you of the opportunity to make your own decision. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Right. And I'm a very easy guy to say no to. I'm like, hey, I'm going to send you a video. Check it out. And by the way, our friendship is way more important than any product or business. Okay. So if you're not interested in this, just tell me quickly. I check it off my list. It's no big deal. Right. And then, because I want to do business in a way that honors friendships and relationships.
Yeah.
Why more people don't know how to do that? I mean, it's not freaking complicated, right? It's like, and with this, what I find is that people are so looking for something like this. It's like a 2-minute video and a link, and people are like, "Yes." I've never seen that short a sales cycle and that easy for people to go, "Yeah, so you've tried."
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, I feel like ecstatic to offer a solution that people are looking for because in the US, at least, I heard 25 to 35% of the entire country are on these weight loss shots.
Is that right?
A huge other portion of them thinking about it, but stressed about it, worried about side effects.
Mm. How much
All
is a
those people would rather do this.
Out of interest, how much is a tank of gas in the US now? If you were to fill your car up from empty to full, what does it cost?
So, gonna say, for example, my van, maybe 30 gallons, maybe about $4, $120 at least.
So it's
US.
$120 to fill up the thing. Because when people go, oh, that product's expensive, 40 pounds or $55, $55 a bottle, that's expensive. I go, but that's half a tank of gas for your vehicle, and you use your vehicle to get from A to B and B to A and A to C all the time. Yet this is the best vehicle that we've ever given. This skin suit that
Yeah.
we're all sitting in as human souls. And so I
Well,
just,
no one gives me an issue about this price. Zero.
yeah, yeah, but that's what I mean. It's
Because of the
reasonable.
perceived potential benefit. I mean, heck, I'll save that much money on snacking.
Yeah, that's my
Ice cream.
chocolate.
I don't know.
That's my
Like,
chocolate budget.
Ice cream is way more expensive than gasoline, I'll tell you that much for sure.
Definitely
You
per
know,
liter.
candy bar, ice cream, donut, oh, I'll have dessert. Oh, let's go out to eat.
All right, Stephen, I want to keep this short. Well, shorter. Is there a question that I don't know to ask you that I should have asked you?
I don't think so. It's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple product. Um, we love customers. Any legit company has amazing amount of customers, right? We'd love you to be our customer. You wanna you need a business, right? It's like we have an amazing team of people you can partner with. I love the people we're attracting. Really kind of a high consciousness level of team we're building, and hey, we can build a culture where we're gonna help some people. And I will add this one thing I'm passionate about doing when I build a business like this is I want to create an environment that makes people better. Does that make sense? Like honest conversation. You join this to do the business. Um, a lot of people don't succeed in the business, but what if we could create an environment that um, that affirmed you, that encouraged you, that even if you didn't make any money, you'd be better off for having spent time with us.
Mm,
That's what I'd love to see. So,
yeah, perfect. All right. Well, if this is of interest, there's going to be links somewhere down there. Stephen, thank you so much for your time.
a nice short 2-minute video. You have to listen to this whole thing, but
Yeah, yeah,
watch
yeah.
the 2-minute one, you know, then come back and watch this longer one. So,
I'll put that. I'll put that out there as well. But it's always a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much. Let me just make sure I'm doing the right thing here. Yeah, we're all good. Thank you so much for your time and
you're welcome.
all the information below.
Let me
Thank you.
be sure, don't be shy, ask for as much help as you want, and look forward to having some fun with you guys.
I will. Let me stop. Thank you.